When the people of Melbourne stopped work and took to the streets on the 8th of May 1970 to protest the Vietnam War, it was the largest rally the city had ever seen. It was the culmination of years of activism driven by joined forces of trade unions, students, peace activists and an organisation called Save Our Sons. Save Our Sons in Melbourne was started up by Jean McLean.
I was a Beau Morris housewife and I went to a pottery class. And the women that were there, including the woman who was teaching, said, you know, I'm a bit worried about this conscription thing. And I said, there's not a lot of point in us standing in the pottery class talking about it. Let's call a meeting of all the people you know and I know, and we'll have a talk about what we'll do about it. And that was the birth of the Save Our Sons. The involvement that the anti-war movement had with the trade unions was very, very important.
Unions have a long tradition of peace activism and were at the forefront of two successful anti-conscription campaigns during the First World War. Save Our Sons worked closely with 27 rebel unions that broke away from the Victorian Trades Hall.
The 27 rebel unions were basically left-wing unions. They were more activist unions. But Trades Hall wasn't supportive of the war. They were interested in people's wages and, you know, that sort of thing.
The rebel unions helped fund publicity for the Save Our Sons campaign, which amongst other things included distributing anti-conscription pamphlets, organising sit-ins and staging protests. The unions also paid bail for draft resistors, many of whom the Save Our Sons organisers assisted to go underground to evade arrest.
I used to go to the unions, and the Builders Labourers was the closest to the court in Russell Street. Normie Gallagher would call in the organiser and say, Jean needs $500 for bail, empty your pockets. And they did. I mean, it was just incredible, the support that we got from ordinary people who were also trade unionists.
Unionists also threw their industrial might behind the peace movement. To protest Menzies' decision to send troops to South Vietnam, 2,500 waterfront workers stopped work in Melbourne. Maritime unionists also shut down the Port of Melbourne with a 24-hour stop work when Jean and 4 members of Save Our Sons were arrested for handing out pamphlets. This, combined with mass vigils, helped secure the women's early release and drew strong public attention to the campaign.
When we were organising for the moratorium, the first meeting we had a representative of the union, students, and we had the peace movement. So we had basically people who represented the majority of the people who came out in the streets.
Union officials helped spread the word through meetings and newsletters and elected an organiser to work full-time for the moratorium. Jean and Save Our Sons organisers also spoke about the campaign directly to thousands of unionists at work sites and factory gates. This culminated in national moratorium marches in May 1970. 100,000 hit the streets of Melbourne and all branches of the Seamen's Union struck for 24 hours that day. Unions had deep roots in the wider community and helped mobilise huge numbers of supporters, united by the idea that peace was union business.